Welcome everyone. Welcome once again to yet another supremely amazing session of the lecture number 3 on the last chapter of human physiology that we were dealing with chemical coordination and integration, and we are now in today's class discussing for your syllabus based NEET 2021 NEET 2022 students. Today we are discussing about the human endocrine glands, that is the pancreas, along with the gonads. That is, we'll be discussing about the testes in case of males and the ovaries in case of females. Okay, let me take the writing pad. Yes. So we'll be taking with the testes in case of males and the ovary in case of the females also. So let's move with it. So don't forget to hit the like button, do share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe our channel if anybody is watching the lecture without subscription. This is our amazing Telegram group at BioPointNew. Do install Telegram from Play Store and search at BioPointNew. Then you can join our discussion group, where regular discussion, polls, quizzes, and updates on our classes, OMR examination, which is a part of our Telegram group, will be conducted over there. This is a crash course for NEET 2021, so do join our Telegram group to know more about the crash course for NEET 2021. So without wasting time, we are moving on to the human endocrine system, the continuation, lecture number 3, and now we are beginning with the structure of pancreas. So we all know that pancreas is a composite gland, or pancreas is a heterocrine gland, or you can tell pancreas is a mixocrine gland. Okay, pancreas is a mixocrine gland. What do you mean by mixocrine gland? It has both exocrine part in it and it has both endocrine part in it. What is the difference of endocrine and exocrine glands? Exocrine glands means they secrete. Their secretion will be directly, they have special duct to carry their secretion. For example, you have the pancreatic duct. So this exocrine part, the secretion is known as enzymes, and the secretion of the endocrine glands you will call it as the hormone. The secretion of the endocrine part is known as the hormones, and the secretion of the exocrine part is known as the enzymes. So here, in case of the endocrine system, we would be discussing about the islets of Langerhans, which is actually the endocrine part of the pancreas, which is actually the endocrine part of the pancreas. In the chapter digestion and absorption, we have already discussed, and I have discussed in very detail about the pancreas, its secretion, digestive juices, along with the duct. Clear? So islets of Langerhans is a previous year MCQ question. It is the endocrine part of the pancreas that produces hormones. About 1.2 million islets of Langerhans, or that is 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue, is composed of what? Islets of Langerhans. And moreover, in the islets of Langerhans, you have 3 different types of cell, but according to your NCRT, we have to study about only 2 different cells. I'll explain which are the 3 different cells. First is the alpha cells, second one is the beta cells, last one is the delta cell. Don't say alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha, beta, and delta cells. Okay, so according to the NCRT, you have to study things only about alpha cells and beta cells. You are required to study the hormones produced by these 2 glands only. So alpha cells and beta cells in the islets of Langerhans secrete what kind of hormone? Peptide hormone. That is, it consists of peptones, or it is a protein containing hormone. Again, a previous year MCQ question in the last lecture of this chapter also, I explained you certain peptide hormone. Hope after the class you will comment me as a homework in the comment box. You will comment me the entire names. By today's class, we will be finishing the whole part of this chapter. A last feedback mechanism is only left out. Okay, so hope you will comment me the name of the peptide hormones included in this chapter in the comment box after the class gets over. So the alpha cells produces a hormone which is known as glucagon, and beta cells produce a hormone which is known as insulin. They maintain the glucose homeostasis in the blood. What do you mean by glucose homeostasis? The balance of glucose level in the blood is carried out by alpha beta cells secretion, that is glucagon and insulin respectively. Clear? That is, both can be told. They are both of their function. Glucagon increases the level of glucose in the blood. Insulin decreases the level of glucose in the blood. So both the hormones are known as antagonistic hormone. We have already studied an antagonistic hormone. So just comment me what are the different pairs of antagonistic hormone that we have studied in this chapter. One is this thing, that is glucagon and insulin are opposite in function. One increases the glucose level and the other decreases the glucose level. So they are antagonistic in function. We have discussed about one more. So you have to comment me two things. Comment me, first one is the peptide hormone, name of the different peptide hormone, and what are the different types of antagonistic hormone that we studied in this chapter. I don't need your search from your Google. For that, you have to read out your NCRT. Okay, only things from this chapter, related with this chapter, nothing outside. Yes, glucagon is known as glucagon. I already told you glucose increases the level of glucose in the blood. So it is known as hyperglycemic hormone or hyperglycemic factor. It acts on the hepatocyte, hepatic, that means something which is related with the liver. So it acts in the liver cell and stimulates glycogenolysis. That is breaking down of lysis. What do you mean by lysis? Breakdown. So breakdown of glycogen. Glycogen breaks down to form glucose. So it acts on the hepatocytes or the liver cells and stimulates the production of glucose by breaking down of glycogen. That is why it is known as a hyperglycemia. It causes a condition known as hyperglycemia. So they are known as hyperglycemic hormone. It stimulates gluconeogenesis. What do you mean by gluconeogenesis? Neogenesis means formation. Okay. Neogenesis means formation. Lysis means breakdown. So you have to remember all these terms. All these things are previous year AIPMT question. NEET question. So previous year MCQ questions coming a lot from these topic. Glycogenolysis, that is breaking down of glycogen produced by or is done by glucagon or the hyperglycemic factor. Then gluconeogenesis, that is glucogen formation, glucose formation. It is also stimulated by the glucagon. It reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization because it have to transfer the glucose into the bloodstream. Okay. So guys, please look, low blood sugar. If our blood is having a low blood sugar, then it will directly be affecting the pancreas. So the alpha cells of the pancreas releases the hormone which is known as glucagon. So glucagon directly stimulated the liver cells, that is hepatocytes, and achieve a normal blood sugar level. Normal blood sugar level by increasing the amount of glucose to the sufficient amount. But when our blood contains a high blood sugar, it also is understood by the pancreas. It stimulates the beta cells to produce a hypoglycemic hormone, that is the insulin, and it acts on the fat cells to take in the glucose from the blood, thereby maintaining the normal glucose level. Guys, both these are important. But when it is deficient, it causes hypoglycemia or diabetes mellitus. When it is exceeding, it also refers to hyperglycemia. Yes, insulin or the hypoglycemic factor. It acts on the hepatocytes and the adipocyte and enhances the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. So what was the function of glucagon? It acts on the hepatocytes to produce glucose, whereas insulin acts on the hepatocytes and adipocytes tissues to utilize the glucose to maximum. So blood glucose moves rapidly into hepatocytes and adipocytes, and it decreases the blood glucose level, leading to a condition known as hypoglycemia. If blood glucose level go below the normal, it is known as hypoglycemia. It stimulates glycogenesis. Okay, that is glucose is converted into glycogen. That is, I am telling that they are antagonistic in function. Due to prolonged hyperglycemia, due to over secretion of insulin, due to over secretion, this is not due to, you have no, you should not misconfuse or confuse it with the glucagon, where we have studied it to be the hyperglycemic factor. It has no relationship with the diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is caused due to the disorder due to the prolonged hyperglycemia caused due to the insulin. Okay, insulin. Okay, deficiency of insulin, that is the glucose level gets higher. Okay, glucose level in the blood gets higher. Symptom is loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful substances like ketone bodies, which is really harmful to our body inside our urinary tract and all. Treatment is done by the insulin therapy. The important structure of insulin and all, humulin, insulin, all these things you will have to study in your class 12th on the chapter biotechnology. I'll be dealing you with the chapter as soon as possible. Moving on to the next one, that is a gonads. Gonads are mainly of two types, that is testis, which is the male gonad, ovary is the female gonad. So testis is the male gonad or the male sex organ, ovary is the female sex organ. First, moving on to the testis, I'm not extending it to such an extent because in 2 or 3 days class, we will move on to the chapter human reproduction. So at that particular time, definitely I would have to take in detail about all these things in your class 12th. So here I am telling only the things which are essential for you right now. So the testis is the male primary sex organ and it is also an endocrine gland. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac. In case of males, the scrotal sac is located outside the body. The reason for this would come in your class 12, third chapter, human reproduction. So I am not extending this to a maximum. Okay, the things that is actually mentioned in your NCRT, I'll be telling you right now. It is formed of special type of cells called seminiferous tubule and interstitial or stromal tissue. It consists of Leydig. It consists of Leydig or interstitial cells in the intertubular spaces, produce hormones called androgens. That is mainly the example is the testosterone. Testosterone is the male sex hormone, or which is actually an androgen. So, what are the different functions of androgen? That is testosterone. It regulates the development, maturation, and functions of the gonads or the accessory sex organ. It stimulates spermatogenesis or sperm production. It stimulates the sexual behavior, growth of muscles, hairs, aggressiveness, low pitch voice, and it also helps in anabolism, that is building up of proteins and carbohydrate. Building up of all these things inside our body is called anabolism. And the opposite term, the antonym, is catabolism. What do you mean by catabolism? Breaking down of the materials. So androgens helps in the regulation, maturation, and functioning of the accessory organs, spermatogenesis, then the sexual behavior, growth of muscles, hairs, aggressiveness. Low pitch voice helps in anabolism of proteins and carbohydrate. Next, we will be discussing about the ovary. Ovary is the female primary sex organ. A pair of ovaries, this diagram is familiar because you have studied in your class 10, is located in the abdomen. It produces only one ovum during each menstrual cycle. It produces only one ovum in each menstrual cycle. Ovary is formed of ovarian follicle and stromal tissue. Ovary is formed of ovarian follicles like this, which will definitely we will be dealing in detail in your 12th standard human reproduction chapter. Theory in detail. Those who are keen to know more about all these things, we have the essay question also based on this for your class 12. So the ovary follicle produces the sex hormone of the female, that is estrogen, which is again a steroid hormone. A steroid hormone, we studied about a peptide hormone also. So after ovulation, the ruptured follicle forms a structure which is known as a corpus luteum. That actually also is endocrine in function. That secretes a hormone which is a progesterone. That is again a steroid hormone. So what are examples of steroid hormone? Estrogen and progesterone are examples of steroid hormones. So progesterone is secreted by corpus luteum, which is formed after ovulation from the ruptured follicle. And the ovarian follicle produces a steroid hormone known as the estrogen. What are the main functions of estrogen is our next question. Stimulates the growth and activities of the female secondary characteristics. Development of the ovarian follicle, secondary characters such as high pitched voice, sexual behavior, development of mammary glands. So all these things are the different functions of done by estrogen, which is a female sex organ in case of females. Next is, what are the functions of progesterone? We already studied that progesterone is some hormone, a steroid hormone that is secreted by corpus luteum, which is a structure formed by the rupture of the follicle. It supports pregnancy. It acts on the mammary gland to stimulate the formation of alveoli and milk secretion. So progesterone helps in the secreting milk. So that's all about today's class. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.